Welcome to the Brain and Environment Symposium. My name is Ray Dorsey. I'm delighted you're all here. To kick us off, we have a great introductory remark from Senator Cory Booker.
Hi everyone, it's Senator Cory Booker, and I want to thank you for gathering to highlight the critical connection between the brain and the environment. We know that exposure to toxins is correlated with increased rates of neurological disorders like Parkinson's and Alzheimer's. 1.2 million Americans suffer from Parkinson's, a terrible disease that I know has touched the lives of many people there today. While we know there are multiple environmental causes of Parkinson's, I want to focus on an important one, Particlot. It's a highly toxic herbicide that can kill plant tissues instantly. We have numerous studies that show the connection between exposure to it and the development of Parkinson's disease. Teens and young adults who are exposed increase their risk of developing Parkinson's by up to 600%. And this horrible chemical has been banned in 58 countries. Despite this, though, it is still one of the most widely used herbicides in the United States. We know enough to protect farmers, farm workers, and rural communities. We need to ban this herbicide and prevent those folk and others from needlessly developing Parkinson's. I have a bill protecting America's children from toxic pesticide acts. Look, Parkinson's is something that's impacted my family. My father died of Parkinson's-related diseases. I saw the impact it had over his life over years and years and years. We can avoid that suffering. We should. If we know that harmful chemicals like this are linked to that kind of suffering, we should act. This is our moment. This is our call. And I look forward to continuing to work with you to raise awareness and protect people from these dangers. Thank you.
Unfortunately, the story of Senator Booker, his father, and many of you here today is increasingly common because today brain diseases are the world's largest source of disability and the second leading cause of death. And many of these diseases are increasingly common. For example, a record 1 in 36 children in the United States now has autism. The burden of ALS and brain cancer is only increasing. Parkinson's disease is the world's fastest growing brain disease, and 1 in 3 of us who want to live to 85 will develop Alzheimer's disease. However, it was not always this way. Unlike other conditions like seizures, strokes, and migraines, which have been described for centuries, if not millennia, many of these brain diseases are new. In fact, 200 years ago, a 61-year-old British surgeon saw something novel on the streets of London. He saw people with a stooped posture, a shuffling gait, and a quivering hand walking at the height of the Industrial Revolution. He said that this condition had not been previously described in the medical literature. When he described it in 1817, he described 6 individuals with that disease. Today, the global burden of disease estimates that 12 million people have Parkinson's disease worldwide. 50 years later, the father of modern neurology described another new condition, ALS. Today, Alzheimer's disease affects 7 million Americans and up to 50 million people worldwide. Yet it was only first described in 1907 by a German psychiatrist. In 1964, some French neurologists described another new condition, progressive supranuclear palsy, or PSP, which affects Congresswoman Jennifer Wexton, who will be speaking later today. And in 1976, Dr. Kenji Kosaka, a Japanese psychiatrist, described dementia with Lewy bodies. And in 1984, he wondered whether this disease, too, was a new one. Today, dementia with Lewy bodies is the second most common cause of dementia, affects 1 million Americans, affected the late actor Robin Williams, and affected the mother of our speaker, Max Lugavere. So what's causing these new brain diseases? Well, if they're new, it's unlikely to be genetics, and indeed the genetic contribution to diseases like Alzheimer's disease is modest, and the genetic contribution to diseases like Parkinson's disease and ALS is among the lowest of all medical conditions. And aging alone isn't insufficient to account for the rise of these brain diseases. So if it's not genetics, If it's not aging, then what is it? And that's why we're here today, because many of these brain diseases may be man-made. And they're likely due to toxicants that are in our air, in our water, and in our food. And to address these toxicants, we're going to need to, 1, invest, 2, to investigate, and 3, to advocate. Today, only 2 cents of every research dollar spent on brain diseases goes towards prevention. Only 2 cents. That paradigm needs to change. And if you look at where we're investing where research is being conducted, it's being conducted in areas that are unlikely to account for the rise of these diseases. We have known for a century that 85% of people with Parkinson's disease do not have a family history of the disease. Yet, over the last 50 years, 85% of research has been focused on the genetics. You couldn't get it much worse. And many likely causes of Parkinson's disease and other brain diseases like solvents and air pollution are almost entirely neglected. Finally, we're going to need to advocate, like Ms. Anderson, who in 1972, her 3-year-old son, Jimmy Anderson, was diagnosed with leukemia in a town called Woburn, Massachusetts. Ms. Anderson noticed that everywhere she went, whether it was the grocery store, the library, or the church, she encountered parents who had a child with leukemia. She and her other fellow parents wondered whether the foul-smelling water in Woburn, Massachusetts could be responsible for the cancer that their children were developing. The doctors said no, they were wrong. As documented in the book and the movie A Civil Action, a chemical called trichloroethylene, or TCE, widely used by a tannery, used in degreasing metal, dry cleaning clothes, and even decaffeinating coffee, contaminated the community's drinking water. In all, 21 children in that town, 11 miles north of Boston, developed leukemia. 11 died. While most dismissed the concerns of Anderson and her fellow residents, a young congressman and a future senator, Edward Markey, who will be speaking this afternoon, listened. He was later joined by our keynote speaker, Dr. Michael Friedhoff, who began her congressional service in his office in 1996. For nearly 30 years, Dr. Friedhoff has been improving our environment. She has staffed numerous congressional committees and was instrumental in the 2016 reauthorization of the Toxic Substances Control Act. The legislation, which passed with overwhelming bipartisan support, required the Environmental Protection Agency to regulate the risk that chemicals pose, including to children. Last year, in large part because of her leadership, the EPA proposed a ban on all uses of TCE. Dr. Friedhoff said at that time, "For far too long, TCE has left a toxic legacy in communities across America. Today, EPA is taking a major step to protect people from exposure to this cancer-causing chemical." Please join me in welcoming the EPA's Assistant Administrator for the Office of Chemical Safety and Pollution Prevention, a University of Rochester alumna, and a great public servant, Dr. Michael Friedhoff.